younger first and then older, and then Veronica. But the reason I'm so excited and happy today is because I think it's really, really inspiring when young people take initiative and sort of go the extra mile to try to make a difference. I think a lot of what's wrong in the world right now is young people don't do enough of that, for example. So when you see it done and done in a way that you can see people really care and they're really thinking about, you know, what's important and not just, you know, like what's in it for me, it's really inspiring. And so I hope that for all of you watching, and thank you so much for all of you who have joined. I hope that when you see this, it reminds you that, you know, youth can be very, you know, young people can do pretty amazing things, and it can be very powerful. And I hope it will encourage you to look around and see what youngins you may have around, you know, your environment, either in your family or that you may know, who may be eager or interested in doing something worthwhile, like a fundraiser or just helping out, cleaning up trash around the environment or anything. So in this case, the reason that these wonderful people are on the call today is because they have done something that is related to increasing awareness and or helping women who have experienced partner violence, and more specifically women who have experienced brain injuries through partner violence. So I'll start with introducing Alejandro. Alejandro is 10 years old. They started, and let's see, I don't know, can I show him right now? Well, here he is. Let's see, can we pin Alejandro? I don't know. How do I make him the speaker view? Okay, so hopefully you can see Ali now. So Ali is 10 years old now, but he started this project called Dimes for Dollars. His school was doing it in the third grade, and it was basically a math project that they decided to turn into that they basically it was a fundraiser too. And so I don't want to tell you everything. I want to let Ali do it, but they started it last year. It had to be put on hold a little bit because of COVID, but they did finish it now. And so Ali not only, you know, finished it, but then he decided he was very happy to explain to our task force what he did. And then he actually went a little further and did a little bit more, which was very inspiring as well. So without any further ado, I would like to now introduce to you Alejandro Valera Spencer, and he's going to tell you about the project that he did to help raise funds and awareness for PINK Concussions.
All right, thanks. So I'm going to screen share the presentation I created. And PINK Concussions fundraiser, school fundraiser project. Dimes for Dollars fundraiser for PINK Concussions. Today we will be presenting the money that we have collected at Su Escuela Language Academy to the PINK Concussions organization to help women who have been treated poorly, battered, and which have sustained head injuries to we this organization. I always thought that women should be treated better since my mom worked to help women in abusive relationships. When I heard that my school was doing a fundraiser, I decided to try to convince my classmates to support PINK Concussions. I told my friend Thomas, and he liked the idea too. We worked on a Google Slides presentation to convince my friends that this was a worthy cause. One other organization won as well, so we supported them both. Reasons for aiding PINK Concussions. Some reasons we helped PINK Concussions are because women who have sustained intimate partner violence can feel depressed, anxious, and that it is their fault because their brain is not working properly. These women may have more trouble taking care of their kids, doing their work, or having fun with the family because of head injuries. Many of these women feel confused, frustrated, and have trouble with things that they used to be able to do years later, probably as a result of brain injuries from intimate violence. How much we collected. As a class, we collected $68.65 for the PINK Concussions organization. $137.30 was collected in total for both charities. We hope that this little donation will inspire others to donate as well, not only to this cause, but in general. What I did outside of school. In order to keep doing more and raising awareness, after the Dimes for Dollars project, I decided to call my relatives to encourage them to donate. I called them and told them what PINK Concussions did to help women, and they were eager to donate. I raised an additional $350 by calling them. What I learned. What I learned while doing this is that no matter how young you are, you can always make an impact if you set your mind on it. It is also important to never give up and keep pushing when things get hard. And to keep supporting PINK Concussions by raising awareness because I think it is a big problem in the world. We need to fix it. I keep looking forward to the day when women and men treat each other equally and kindly. Conclusion.
Kevin, you should get off.
In conclusion, I have really enjoyed collecting. We hope that this little donation will inspire others to donate as well, not only to this cause, but in general. No woman should be hurt or given brain injuries, especially from partners. Thanks.
That was wonderful, Alejandro. Great job. Awesome job, buddy.
Thanks, everybody.
Good job, buddy.
Does anyone have any questions for Ale?
You did a great job.
All right. Well, I'm not sure
So
if people.
Eve, I have a question. Sorry, I was just trying to unmute. This is Johnny.
Excellent. Hi, Johnny.
So,
nice to see you. Your hair's looking great, bud.
It comes off later this week after I recover from my second COVID vaccine, which will be good. Alejandro, this is a phenomenal start to the work that promotes that which your mom and I and many others on this call are doing. Through your advocacy, you've been able to raise awareness at your school and in your classroom. And through your phone calls, you've been able to expand that conversation, it sounds like primarily with your family. What other groups of people do you think would benefit from learning more about head injuries and intimate partner violence? Like who can you reach out to?
I think that this should be taught in schools, that we should have a class that's like how to treat others and respect others, because I think that's a really important part of our lives too. Because other subjects like math, science, social studies may be important, but I think this is a really important thing too, because how to treat each other is really important, and we should always treat each other kindly.
So I agree with you. I just want you to think about who to reach out to, to your soccer team, to the Boys and Girls Club, to restaurants, like maybe even politicians. So who else do you think needs to know about this topic? And I know your answer was everybody. Can you be specific?
Yeah. I think police need to know about this topic because some people may not may feel disoriented, and they won't really have a good case because they were unconscious and didn't know what was going on. So this is a really important thing for police to know, because let's say a partner knocks out his wife, and then how is she gonna she might have different stories each time they talk to her, because she doesn't know, maybe she's out of it a little bit. It's just really important, because that is not right, and it might seem like the person who got beat up was lying.
There you go. Love that answer. Thank you so much for answering my question.
Does
Anybody
anyone
else?
Alejandro, did you get any questions from your fellow classmates about the project?
Yes, many. One of them was how do we help? And that was a very good question. I just told them it's also, you can help by raising awareness, telling people about this, because it's very important, and this is a big problem.
What would you say to people that would say, oh, this is a pretty serious topic for kids. We shouldn't talk about serious things like this with children?
I'd say it doesn't really matter how young you are, because look at me. I'm only 10 years old. I'm on this call, and I've given a good and I think I've given a good presentation. And look, I'm helping. This is what I would love to do, and I'm really happy. And yeah.
Johnny has his hand up.
Yes, Alejandro, can you ask Ms. Snedeker if she has a youth representative on the board of PINK Concussions?
Do you?
We have interns. We usually have between 10 or 15 interns, but we don't have a youth member on the board. Would maybe that be something you might be interested in?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's really important to hear the voices of men in this. It's one of the things Hirsch and Johnny and Ron Savage and there's so many men that show up every week on this. So I think it's really important to show them the men that are taking part in the solution. Like you.
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
Absolutely. And I just want to say one other thing about Johnny's question. I think Johnny's question is great. And Ollie, I think you did a great job answering it about whether or not kids are too young to talk about things like this. And the other thing that my answer, which is a little more somber, is that youngsters are seeing this in the home already. So at least if we talk about it, they can be aware that this is not right and they shouldn't have to accept it, and that it's okay for them to tell somebody that this is wrong and that this is going on. So I think that I wish I could say that kids don't know about this, but all too many kids are viewing this anyway. So I think it's a good idea to get kids involved in the conversation so they can be players going through and through.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone else have any questions?
Yes, me. Hi, Ale, it's Natalia.
Hi.
Thank you for your presentation. It was awesome. I just wanted to ask you, what did you say to your classmates in order to convince them to participate in this specific cause?
I told them that the PINK Concussions supported women. Well, PINK Concussions task force supported women that have not been treated well, and I told them that no woman should ever not be treated well. So I told them what happened in the homes, like strangulation and many other things, but I'm not going to go into there right now. And I told them that this is not okay. We should not have this in homes. This should not be happening, and kids should not have to experience it.
Thank
I
you,
also
Ale.
told them that imagine being one of those women who in a home who has a relationship with this person, and you really like them, but because they like treat you very badly, but you can't really get out of the relationship, and you have nobody to talk to. I just think that is not right, and we should have like a place for women to talk to other people, and we should raise awareness that this is actually happening in homes.
Yeah, thank you, Ale. I'm agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Natalia. Does anyone else have a question?
Alejandro, I have a question. This is Julia.
Hola, Julia.
Oh yeah,
¿Cómo
hi
está?
Julia.
Hi, I'm so happy
Hola.
to hear you talk. It's so inspiring. I didn't know you were doing all this work, but it's not surprising to me at all. And I was wondering, what was the reaction you got from your classmates and your teachers? Of course, it was positive because you ended up raising so much. But I wondered what kind of conversations you had with them afterwards.
That's so the they asked me many things because they seemed very interested, which is a really good thing. And it was just they were like asking things like for example, like what happens? Like how do they get out of those relationships? And the answer is they're like sometimes they don't, because they don't have like they can't really get out of the relationships. And like it's so. And another question was like how do they beat them up? And like I was like many ways. Like some are like super surprising, like I heard like throwing acid, and like and then like throwing them down the stairs. That's just unacceptable, and we should not have that.
You're
I think.
absolutely right. Thank you, Ale. So inspiring everything you're doing.
I think you're
Anybody
such
else?
an excellent example to show what someone that's 10 years old can do, and what one of the hopes is that we can have everybody go back and think about your own organizations and the kids that you know, and how you could maybe replicate what you've seen today, now that you see what a 10-year-old can do. And I know this is a particularly special 10-year-old, but I think that his work really shows the capacity for a whole group of kids that aren't being tapped right now on this topic. So thank you for such a great presentation today. And I think it's very inspiring and gives us all hope.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ale. Very much appreciated. And you're getting lots of comments in the chat box if you want to take a look at those. They're all very complimentary. So now it gives me great pleasure to introduce our next amazing speaker. And this is Veronica Valera. And let's see, can we make her full screen now? Where is she? Veronica, I'm gonna make you, is she pinned now? Can everyone see Veronica? Can you pin yourself, Veronica?
How do you do that? I don't know how to pin myself.
I see you, Veronica.
Okay, good.
I can see you, honey.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
that was an amazing presentation. Thank you.
So Veronica is now 17 years old, and she has actually been working for a number of years on a project called Beads for Hope. And she's going to tell you about that, how she got interested in it, and what she's been able to do. And I think this is going to be another very inspiring story as well. So with that, I'm going to give it over to Veronica.
Thank you. I'll share my screen. Ooh. Okay, here it is. So my project that I started is called Beads for Hope. Beads for Hope is an ongoing project to distribute handmade beaded bracelets to women survivors of domestic violence. And here's a picture of the webpage that we have for the project. I have been making beaded bracelets since before I can remember, but Beads for Hope began in 2017. After hearing about the work of my Aunt Eve, who specializes in research on traumatic brain injuries in women experiencing intimate partner violence at Massachusetts General Hospital, I realized that my love of beading had the potential to impact others. I asked her if she thought that the survivors with whom she conducts conferences with would be interested in receiving a bracelet from me. Her response was an enthusiastic yes, and this was the beginning of Beads for Hope. So in order to make these bracelets, the process starts with bead shopping. Choosing the beads, which will be used to make each bracelet, is an exciting part of this process. Beading is a great outlet for creativity, so choosing colors and designs that speak to you is important. And making the bracelets allows you to experiment with different combinations of beads and express your own style. And that's a picture of some of the bracelets that we've distributed to the women survivors. Included with each bracelet is a note serving to remind the women of their strength, worth, and beauty. And here are some examples. We've printed the notes in Spanish and French as well to accommodate survivors that speak those languages. And the note here, this is what it says. Hi, my name is Veronica, and I made this bracelet in hopes that it will remind you that you are deserving of beauty, recognition, and hope. Every bracelet and note is then packaged in a colorful organza bag and shipped to my aunt or other distributors. And those are examples of that's how the women receive the bracelets, in the bag with the note. And then to distribute them, my aunt brings the bracelets to places and situations where people will either be survivors or no survivors, like shelters and places where she has given lectures, and encourages them to take a bracelet free of charge. And here are pictures of actual women survivors who've received my bracelets. At the moment, we have distributed bracelets to 513 survivors. These women have been in Massachusetts, California, Arizona, Canada, and even France. This project has been a humbling and inspiring experience for me so far, as I have received such incredible responses from the survivors. And these are some texts that I received from my Aunt Eve telling me about the reactions of the survivors to my bracelets. So some of the women never take them off. Some of them have cried when they received them because they've never received a piece of jewelry in their lives before. So it's been really incredible to see how appreciated my bracelets are. So seeing the joy that my bracelets brought to the women, I've recently expanded my project to incorporate my school's chapter of Girls Learn International, a club that empowers students to advocate for women's rights and equality. Amanda Gorman is actually an alumna of the club. Beads for Hope is now a community-wide effort as my fellow club members have become involved in making bracelets. My project coincides perfectly with the club, as our chapter's focus this year is domestic violence awareness, which kicked off in October, which is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. In conclusion, this project has taught me that even a small act of kindness, like a bracelet, can brighten someone's life. The survivors that receive the bracelets have endured so much, and their courage is incredibly inspiring. I'm humbled to be able to have even a small impact on their lives.
All right. Thank you, Veronica.
That was a wonderful presentation, sweetie pie.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm trying to find you. Hold on. I just lost you somehow. Does anyone have any questions for Veronica? Or any comments.
I have a question, Veronica. How were you able to scale this to all those areas?
Yeah, so my aunt has just been able to travel to a bunch of different places, and I've been really lucky that she's been so willing to help me with this. But that's pretty much how I've been able to get them to so many different areas.
But it's such an excellent project, and what I think is so amazing is that it's 24/7, you know, on somebody's wrist, reminding them of, you know, their beauty and their value. So gosh, I'm blown away by your presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that. That means a lot.
Does anyone else have any? Oh, Ale has a question.
What inspired you to make beads in the first place?
So I think I've just always been a crafty person, and I've always loved making art. So I don't know how I actually started. I guess we went to the craft store and we got some beads, and then I just fell in love with it. And I was making so many bracelets that I said I need to do something with them. So that's when I contacted my Aunt Eve and asked her if she thought that the survivors would be interested. So.
Wow.
Anybody else have any questions? Julia.
Hi, Veronica. So nice to meet you. I've been hearing about your beads for a long time now. And so it's so wonderful to hear how the project started. And I was wondering how we could all purchase the beads and if it's possible for us to distribute them internationally ourselves.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So like, would you be interested in like making what are you thinking, like purchasing? Like,
I don't know how it works. If you make the beads and you need funds to support getting the beads to make the bracelets, and then if we are in different countries or in different places, if we work at different centers for women, if we could distribute them elsewhere.
definitely. So as of right now, I have so many beads. I've been going to like an online wholesaler, and that's where I get my beads. So I'm good with funds right now, but I'd love to. So the club, the GLI club, we're gonna be having a bead making Zoom call soon, and I have like 70 bracelets ready to make, so we're gonna make another big batch. And if you'd be interested in distributing them to more survivors, I'd love that. We could definitely try to send them.
Maybe you could set up either a Venmo or a crowdfunding or something, and we could help you with postage because I mean, that's the hard thing. Even for when I make these PINK Concussions pins, it can charge $8 to send a pin through the mail. So maybe you could find a way we could donate towards the postage.
I'm sorry, you froze for a second there.
I said maybe you could find a way that we could donate towards the postage. If you put like a crowdfunder up, there's different ways that you could set up a fundraiser so that if people wanted to donate, we could donate towards your efforts.
That would be amazing. Thank you guys so much for your support. But yeah, we're definitely continuing to make them and continuing to increase the scale of the project. So that would be really helpful to get them out to more women. Yeah, thank you so much.
That is a great idea. I can see that on this call. I know somebody else is trying to say something, but I can see somebody else saying they would like some bracelets in Colombia. So right now we have people asking for bracelets in a couple of different countries. So, and postage is expensive, especially the weight is what it goes by, I believe. And so that would be perfect if something can help support the price of postage, and then we can get those out to basically women around the world instead of just right now. It's been France, Canada, and the U.S., but we should expand to that for sure.
Yes.
I know a woman who owns like a beading store where she just has like an amazing collection of beads there that's been in existence for a long time. It has different parties for people coming in, or, teaching them to do it or that kind of thing. And I don't know if you would be interested at all in connecting with her, and then whether it's either raising funds, for you, or having an event there, or something like that, or just any outreach. I think she would be someone who would really be fascinated and, motivated to help. So that might be a good way to connect with her.
That sounds amazing. That sounds like a great opportunity. I'd love to connect with her and see if she'd be interested in supporting in any way.
Kent, Hope Kent had her hand raised. Hope, did you want to say something?
Yeah, hello. Hi, Veronica. My name's Hope. I'm in England researching traumatic brain injury. So it's lovely to meet you, and it was really nice to hear your presentation. What a wonderful presentation and a brilliant project you've set up. And my question, I suppose, has just been answered a little bit in that discussion, but I wanted to know, obviously you've grown this project over the last 3 years. Where do you see it going in the future? How would you like it to go? What sort of thing would you like to see going forwards?
Yeah, I like to get as many people involved as possible in making bracelets, and just to be able to distribute as many bracelets as possible. So yeah, I was really thrilled this year to have the opportunity to share this with the Girls Learn International Club, but I think it would be really cool if I could try to get the whole school involved in making bracelets, because domestic violence, it'll spread awareness, and it will, be able to create more bracelets for more survivors. So I think that is kind of the goal now, because we talked about it with the GLI club to try to get the whole school involved in making them. So that's kind of like the long-term goal right now.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. That sounds really good. And it sounds like there's lots of exciting opportunities coming from this. And I think there's something so lovely for a survivor of intimate partner violence to get something that is jewelry, that is something pretty, that is something empowering, that is actually just for them. So I think that's wonderful. So keep up the good work.
Thank you so much.
Johnny has his hand up.
Hi, Veronica. I met your mom a couple of years ago, and the first thing she did was reach into her handbag and pull out Veronica's beads and present them to me. And I brought it home for my wife, who is not a domestic violence survivor, but it does send that message. You're at an interesting stage in your advocacy, which is the growth from a sort of a one person in your bedroom type of organization to your
Oh, did he stop? I'm sorry. Did I just mute you accidentally? Are you muted?
There we go. Now I'm unmuted.
Sorry, I don't know what happened. Thank you, Johnny. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
Professional courtesy, some would say. Professional courtesy.
I love you, Johnny, but every once in a while I just can't hear you. I'm sorry, Johnny. Go ahead.
So Veronica, you're going from your own organization where you're putting your bracelets together, you're including your school and your club, and now you're seeing that there's international interest in distributing these. And the first thing that strikes me is your message where it says, "Hi, I'm Veronica," which is very personal. And so the first question is, how are you going to advise to adjust that message? And then perhaps it's even better to do your beads for hope as an outsourcing element. So rather than sending completed bracelets, you send the kits to people so that they get assembled in Colombia, they get assembled in the UK. And so just interested in your thoughts, which I would say that I don't know how to answer those questions, because they're big business, big marketing discussions.
So yeah, that's a great question. So the note I gave this presentation to the GLI club, and we had an idea that maybe instead of, so of course it couldn't say my name, but instead of a printed note, if we did handwritten notes to make it even more personal and include their name if they feel comfortable with it. So then it's so much more intimate, and it shows that that person really took the time to make this bracelet and write that note. And in terms of outsourcing, that's an amazing idea, actually. I think then we could really get so many people involved, and there wouldn't, and the amount of bracelets we could make would be endless. So I appreciate that idea, and I think that's a really good direction to take the project in. And
then as you're talking, I was thinking about the question I asked to your cousin, which was who else needs to know about this? And when I ask that question, the answer is always politicians. And so are you bold enough to put one in the mail and send it to your senators and your representatives and your governor and all that?
That's a really good idea. I'd actually love to do that. I should start working on that because I think that is really important. People, domestic violence is such a, like, no one really seems to focus on it, and they focus on all these other issues, and it's so under-recognized. So I think that's a really important thing that I should do. So thank you for that. That's a good idea.
Yeah, keep it up and keep representing the youth as well as making us old folks look slow and uninnovative. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you, Johnny. Does anyone else have any questions? So I just want, I want to add that, Veronica has been doing this for many years now. And it is impressive to see a woman literally a year later wearing the bracelet that she says she never takes off. And, I was at one meeting and there were a group of women and they were all survivors, and some of them were actually giving a lecture. Some of them were speaking from a survivor standpoint, but some were giving a lecture on a topic. But yet they were all survivors, and they all put their hands in and took a picture of the bracelets. And it was really impressive to see that it was from all different backgrounds and approaches that they may have received the bracelet and where they were in their stage or journey, through the domestic violence situation. But it was really just so inspiring to see them sort of joining together and so appreciating this bracelet that was made by someone who basically never met them, didn't know them, and was basically saying, you are important enough. And here's something to show you that and to remind you that in case you ever need that extra push, a reminder. I think as all of us know, a lot, or at least a lot of us on this call know, that women in partner violence situations are often put down and psychologically and verbally abused by their partners a lot. So women may be feeling like they're not worth very much, they're not worth anything. And to have somebody, present them with a bracelet, just because, and saying that, yes, you are worth something is very powerful. So I've always loved this project and always been very proud of Veronica. And I'm super excited that she was able to share her work, and it would be fantastic to see it go even more global. So at this point, we have about 15 minutes or so left. So, was somebody saying something? Or, nope. So we could either break into little groups, or if somebody wants to talk. I mean, one of the things that I actually wanted to do, and Catherine can pipe up if she wants to, is one of the, I don't know, Johnny may have asked it, or somebody, or maybe it was Catherine who said, who are the people around us that we may know, the young people? Because now, if we have this, he started this when he was 9 and now he's 10, but 10-year-old kids can do this. We must know somebody around us who may be, not necessarily specifically for this cause, but sort of for the global good. Do people want to think about or talk about the youth in their lives that may be able to contribute in a way, or have ideas about that? Anybody in Colombia or Spain?
I was trying to talk, but I was muted. So This is Marcy.
Hi, Marcy.
I'm sister and Veronica's aunt. And I used to make bracelets also. I haven't done it for a long time, but I have a lot of beads. So I'm going to try to figure out, Veronica, how we can get those beads to you, or maybe I can send them in I know there's some boxes in the postal service that you can shove whatever you can in there, and it's a standard price. So, because I have a whole bunch of beads, and I wish, I'm not doing anything with them, and I even have bracelets that are made. So I'm gonna start sending them to you, even if I can't send them all at the same time, because beads are heavy. So, but I want to do that because it's very inspiring, and it's just such a wonderful thing to see you and Alejandro doing so much. So if at least I can send you some beads, you can, it's a little thing I can contribute to your great project.
Thank you so much. And you know what? I forgot to mention in my presentation that you're one of the people who inspired me to start beading. When you would like come over and we would bead together, that was like some of my favorite memories. So my Aunt Marcy is also part of this is due to her. And she's given me so many beads over the years. So thank you for that. And thank you so much for wanting to be involved.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it.
I'm going to send you, you'll see, I'm going to send them little, I can't send them all because I literally have drawers full of beads. So you're going to put them to good use. So I'm going to get those to you.
Thank you.
But that was a great presentation, both you and Alejandro. I'm so proud to be your aunt, you and Alejandro's aunt. You guys are amazing and inspiring.
Thank you.
And I love you both.
Love you too.
Does anybody else have any thoughts about inspired youth or maybe youth that are around them that may want to be inspired and want to think about ways, brainstorm?
So Eve, hi, this is Ghazala.
Hi, Ghazala.
I have a question for Veronica. So Veronica, have you thought about how you could translate your skill of making these beads to other youth who may be interested? I know I have a daughter who is 10 years old. She's very skilled at making bracelets, but she uses ropes and sometimes threads. And when I asked her I showed her your website and I asked her if she could do this, she said, Mommy, I don't know how to use beads and make bracelets. So I'm just wondering if you have any ideas how to translate knowledge about your skill to other youth.
That's a great question. So that's what I'm trying to think of, right? Like, because we're going to have this Zoom meeting to make bracelets with the Girls Learn International Club. And so of course they've never beaded before and they don't know how. So I'm hoping to be able to explain to them over the call how I do this and how they're going to do it. Because what they're going to receive is just a bag and some beads and string that I cut for them. And so I think I think writing directions like how to make a bracelet with beads is hard because it's easier to like talk to someone and talk it over with them. So I guess if when we start to grow this and have more people making them, we could try to like get a Zoom call together where we could make bracelets together and I could try to explain to them how to do it. It's fairly simple once you get the hang of it, but I think to start it's kind of daunting. So I definitely I think the best way to do it is over a Zoom call or when you can talk to someone through how to do it.
Great, thank you. And you are doing such an inspiring work. It's really lovely to see you getting involved in this cause. So thank you for that. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so
Veronica,
much.
I could help because, well, I know how to do beads. So
yes,
I would be happy to help teach people if you want, if you can get set up some sort of call or whatever way you want to set it up, I would be happy to help people, show people how to do it too.
Absolutely, that sounds like an amazing idea. And so when we have our meeting with the Girls Learn International Club, I would love to have you on the call. And then if we're able to get more people involved outside of the club, then I would love to have you, because I mean, yeah, it might be hard just to explain it by myself. So I'd love to have you on to help with that.
Okay, you tell me when and where, and I'll be there.
Thank you.
What about,
go ahead, Cara.
what about like reaching out to like schools, like arts classes or camps or just arts and crafts, different like places, even places that have like parties for kids or something like, I mean, or just, I don't know, any organizations that do like kids art, you know, and then just, you know, when if jewelry making, you know, is beading is a part of that. I don't know, I remember when I was beading jewelry the first time, you know, I was doing those when I was in camp and like arts and crafts. And that's, you know, when I first did that and got into it, you know, and that kind of thing, but then even in school too. So I just think that's a way to get girls or, you know, kids actually, you know, involved with this and just aware of the fact that they can like do good and help people, you know, while they're doing this. It's, I don't know, just an idea, just a thought.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a great idea. I mean, because really this could go anywhere. So I guess I have to think bigger than just my community and my school and try to maybe, I think I want to grow the website too, to be able to like, for people to find this and for them to be able to ask and show interest. So yeah, no, but I love the idea of being able to reach out to art camps or clubs and art classes. And I think that's great.
Yep. Oh, somebody else has a question?
Yeah, it's Joanne Andrews. I work in brain injury. I'm from London, Ontario, Canada. I just to your larger question, Eve, about how do we kind of involve and get youth, I guess, inspired to be involved in this, but in other kind of projects as well. And I don't know the answer, but I do know that I do think that we can't do it alone as grown-ups. Like we actually have to do it with the youth. Because I think, you know, I think back to Alejandro's presentation and he was talking about it with his friend and his friend said, well, I want to help. So I think Veronica and Alejandro are spectacular and they're special, but I also think that kids can relate and youth can relate to them and they will hear the message of, well, you can do this too, and believe it from them more likely than they will from somebody my age. And so I think it's like, however it happens, I think it needs to be a collaborative effort with youth. That's just my feelings on it. And so I don't know how, and I think there's probably many, many, many ways, but I don't think we can do it alone. I think we have to do it with them and maybe have them actually in a leadership role within that collaboration.
Absolutely. No, I think you're right. I think that's a great idea, and to think, especially to think about it that way. Not only will the other kids relate, but it's always kind of cool to do stuff that your friends are doing versus it may not be as cool to do something that, you know, Joe Schmo up there wants you to do or whatever. So I think you have a really good point there that when you have somebody like Ale or Veronica who can start, then they can be the leaders for that. And then, you know, we can chip in and help as we need to. But I think if they're basically ambassadors, that's a really good way to go. And that's a really good point. That's a very good point. Thank you for that.
And I think just seeing these presentations today and seeing the capacity that these two individuals have as you go through the next month till our next meeting, think of ways to outreach to youth either through family members or through clubs that you're a part of, and come back next month and let us know if you've figured out any new ways to reach out to youth, because I do think it's a very powerful message, not only for an experience for the youth, but also for the just pure joy that they can provide women that have so little. So thank you guys both for your presentations today. Fantastic. I also just wanted to segue to let everyone know that I know I've been pushing Clubhouse, but tomorrow there starts a 4 or 5 day mental health summit on Clubhouse, and I'll be speaking on sex and gender brain injury, including domestic violence, on Thursday at 1 o'clock. And then actually no, tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And then Thursday on our casual conversation calls, we have Hugh Williams, who'll be talking about women in prisons from a UK study. And we'll be talking about the high rate, I think it's 65% of women in the prison in this study had a form of brain injury. And Hugh's just a great Scottish guy, so he's really fun to listen to. So Eve, do you want to, you and your two guests, do you want to close down the rest of the meeting and have a final statement?
Well,
He's Welsh. Oh my God, he's Welsh. Sorry, thank you. He's Welsh. He's Welsh. Hopefully he's not on right now.
They're talking about Hugh.
That's why Hope keeps me on track. And thank you, Hope. Hope, who spoke earlier, is the one that does Hope's notes, which are the notes reviewing. She's amazing. So thank you, Hope, and thank you for saving me. Don't tell Hugh, okay?
Good thing this isn't being recorded, Catherine.
Oh.
All right. So Ollie, do you want to do a final comment?
No, I'm good.
You're good. All right, I get that. And Veronica?
I just want to thank all of you for showing so much support for this project and giving me some great ideas to hopefully incorporate in it, and for letting me present here today. I really appreciate all of it.
And likewise, I really, really appreciate everyone showing up to hear these very inspirational stories and listen to these, what I think, inspiring youth. I know everyone is super, super busy, and I appreciate everyone who either carved time out of their day or took time off of work or whatever to be here today. I know for me, things like this make my heart lighter, so to speak. It makes me happier, and then it helps me. I feel better during the day. So I really hope that it does the same for all of you. So even though maybe now you have to scramble a little bit more to get, whatever you had to get done, at least you're scrambling with a lighter heart and keeping in mind that, despite much divisiveness in this country and world right now, that there is so much positivity and good. And if we really focus a lot of that on our youth, I think that's a really good place to focus it. We'll be, headed in a much better direction. So I really feel strongly about supporting youth who are doing great things. And I couldn't be prouder of these two presenters today. And I know I'm slightly biased, but I really am proud of both of you so much. And then the one last thing is, I know it conflicts with Catherine's a little bit, but there is the SOAR conference that's going on in the next 2 days as well. So maybe you can check in and out of the different various wonderful IPV TBI things going on. There's lots of stuff to check into if you're interested in.
I'm speaking at 1. What time is your talk tomorrow, Eve?
Mine is, I believe, at 1 or 1:30.
Yeah, I think.
And then yours is a little bit later.
Mine is
at the SOAR conference.
It's hard because we're speaking on Vancouver time at that conference, and then right up against with Greenwich Mean Time on the other one. So I've been having math nightmares all week. So yes, we definitely want to check out, and I'll send the link out again for that conference. And that conference is a donation of $10. So it's 2 days of really great speakers, top speakers. If you went to a conference like that, it would normally be $400 or $500. So they're providing amazing content for $10, and that's really just a processing fee. So all our support to Paul and Karen for that event coming up. Thank you all for joining us.
Thanks so much, everybody.
Thank you. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.